So there's a misconception that if you're single, you are incomplete, perhaps damaged, salvaged, and you won't be happy until you find your one. And that is not true. That is bullshit. It is a message that has been fed to us by media and advertising. The truth is, when you're single, you have the richest soil for growth. That's why I created this podcast. And unlike other podcasts, this one is host-driven, not guest-driven. That means I will be rotating health and wellness experts 3 times a week to give you the giant box of wellness crayons, not just the primary colors, so you can start building a meaningful life. It's time to give singlehood a cape. Today's guest is the, and yes, I'm adding a the because she has earned it, and you will see why, the Damona Hoffman. She's a certified dating coach and media personality. She's a regular contributor to the Drew Barrymore Show, NPR, The Washington Post, The LA Times, and so much more. Plus, she is the official U.S. dating expert of OkCupid. That means she knows some shit on both sides of the curtain. Damona's podcast, Dates and Mates, just launched its 10th season and has recently received the award for the best podcast of the year at the Black Podcasting Awards. Enjoy the Damona Hoffman.
Are we supposed to get married?
I'm going to just swipe left.
I just want somebody to share my life.
Allow yourself to dream and say, what would it feel like if I had this person in my life? You can keep waiting for the fairy tale, or you can get on board with the new rules of relationships. If you read my advice in the LA Times, then you know this ain't your mama's love advice. This is Dates and Mates with Damona Hoffman. Hello, lovers. I'm coming at you at the beginning of the Valentine's Day countdown. No stress, though. Valentine's Day is coming, but I know that a lot of people right now are thinking about partnership. And that's why I thought it was really important for me to do a little mini-sode for you on the 5 dating loops and how to fix them. I realized when I led my intro class for the Dating Accelerator Program, and I asked people at the top of the class, who's heard of the 5 dating loops? And there were a lot of people that were like, I have no idea. So I wanted to give you an overview and then also give you some tools and tips for how you can get unstuck in your dating life if you may be looping or being stuck in one of these 5 dating loops. I have been coaching singles for over 15 years, and I have found that there are these 5 areas that when I help people in these 5 areas, things magically fall into place in their dating life. But you listen to the show, it's not magic. It's purpose, it's clarity, and it's strategy. So give me 10 minutes of your life, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to make these shifts and how you might even, no pressure, but you might even be able to shift them before Valentine's Day if that is important to you. So the first dating loop is mindset. Mindset I categorize as both who you are, what you bring to the table in a relationship, and also the clarity that you have around who you want to partner with. And then third, how you are thinking about dating and whatever these phrases that you repeat to yourself in your mind again and again and again about your ability to find love, your ability to choose the right partner, your ability to move into the relationship that you dream of, or even just the dating process. There's a lot of negativity around dating right now. Wait, can we agree that it's a process? I would think if you're listening to the show, you know that I really think of dating as a set of learned skills. And we just don't practice them, or we don't put a process around them. And yet we put a process around everything else in our lives, and yet we leave dating to chance. So let's put a process around it today. If you are stuck in the mindset loop, you may be experiencing fear of the unknown. You may have lack of clarity. Like a lot of times when clients first come to me and I say, well, what are you looking for? And they tell me, I'll know it when I see it. Well, have you seen it yet? If you don't have that kind of clarity around what you really need in a relationship, and please don't say like, I need them to make this amount of money or be this height or, have this hair color or wear this size dress or whatever it is that you have told yourself in the past is what you need. If it's a physical attribute or something that doesn't tell you about that person's values or goals or how they look at the world, that should not be on your list. That should not be a part of your dating mindset as something that you are in pursuit of. Another sign of the mindset loop is having dating burnout. And when we have burnout, I'm seeing a lot of this out here in these dating streets. Burnout is because we are dating. We are out here putting all this energy out, but we're not doing the foundational work of getting the clarity and setting the foundation of what do I actually want and need in a relationship. So you're just putting all this energy out. You're giving all your time to all these people. You're swiping and you're messaging and you're stuck in the texting trap. And then you suddenly realize I've given so much of myself away. There's barely anything left for me or for the person that I really want to give my heart to. And then it really shows up as dating burnout. So the first thing I want you to do, if you are feeling that mindset loop and you just feel like you can't escape it, first of all, I want you to really get clear on what you're looking for. Take out a piece of paper and journal for 10 minutes. Allow yourself to dream and visualize. We never do this. When we're kids, we're allowed to play and daydream, but we don't do this in our daily lives. So I'm giving you permission, not that you needed permission, but I'm giving you permission to just allow yourself to dream and say, what would it feel like if I had this person in my life? And if you could identify what are those top 3 qualities in that person, non-physical qualities, but what are those qualities that when you see them out in the world and you see them repeated back to you, you will know that this is your person. Of course, I go into much more detail on how to do this in the Dating Accelerator Program, which is enrolling now, by the way, at thedatingsecret.com. But this is a starter exercise. Just start journaling and start to get clarity on who that person is. And then if you're feeling this dating burnout, you've got to get clear yourself too on why you're dating and develop a sense of purposefulness within your dating life. So if you're on like 3, 4, 5 dating apps, which is really the average right now, and you're just feeling like there's constant chatter and nothing's happening, scale it back. Just go back to one app that you are going to do with mindfulness and clarity and purpose. Now, the second dating loop is what I call sourcing. Signs that this is your loop. You may feel overwhelmed, like, I don't even know where to find this person. Are they online? Are they out IRL? Should I go to this party? Should I not? Should I ask your friend for a setup? Da, da, da. Like, that is where we get in this overwhelm of the possibilities. And sourcing is about being in the orbit, being in the place where you might meet your person. So you, again, could be putting a lot of effort out, but you're creating a lot of noise instead of a lot of opportunity. So we need to get strategic about figuring out where should you be going, where should you be showing up in person and online to be in the orbit of your right person. You may be stuck in a sourcing loop if you also just have this feeling of helplessness or confusion that you just don't even know what to do to find someone, or you keep making excuses for people when you meet them because you think, well, what if this is the only one that's going to come in and this is it? We don't want this, my friends. This is a loop. This is a sourcing loop. So I want you to get really strategic and start thinking, am I in the places where I would be able to meet the right kind of people? Not just like, hey, girl, go out. Hey, go to the club, pick up some ladies. I'm saying, like, are you in the right place at the right time to meet the right people? And if you're not showing up in that way, and it may be showing up physically, it may be showing up online. And I'm not just, when I say dating online, I don't just mean dating apps. I mean, are you showing up on Instagram or in your Facebook groups or wherever you are you showing up with the mindset of, this is a place where I might meet my person? we have to work on sourcing to get you clear on where your person might be. The next loop is screening. Now, screening is figuring out who is worthy of your time. Time is your one non-renewable resource. Well, no, there are other non-renewable resources, but time is really valuable, and we're always running out of time. And when you are going on dates with the wrong people and giving away your time and your emotional, mental, physical, sexual energy, and you're not getting back what you need to fuel yourself again, you're frankly wasting your time and wasting that life energy that you could be spending with somebody that gives you what you need in return. So signs of this loop are being stuck in the texting trap, also getting ghosted, so you're giving away your time to people that are not showing up for you, going on dead-end dates that don't turn into second or third dates. I get a lot of questions on this show about what's going on when that happens. What's going on is you might have not screened effectively, and you showed up for someone that ultimately wasn't right for you. And some of that is just the screening process. So, of course, in the Dating Accelerator, I put a process around this. How do you screen? But some of that might be that you skipped some screening steps earlier on, and then you realized as you got to know someone better that they weren't the right person for you to give your time to. The fourth loop is presentation. Now, the problem with this loop, presentation, it's not just what you're wearing and how you show up on the dates. That is definitely part of it, though. It is also how you communicate and connect to the person sitting across from you. So I do this in a few different ways with my Dating Accelerator clients, because a lot of them come in stuck in this loop, being anxious about dates, asking me, what do I say on a first date? Or not knowing how to prepare for the first date. And then they spend the hour before the date running around figuring out what should I wear, calling their friends, changing their hair, and getting so amped up and anxious that they go into the date without being able to be their calm, clear, authentic self. So we do all of this in the Dating Accelerator Program. We even figure out, what is your dating capsule wardrobe? What are the 3 outfits that you could wear on a date? You could just walk into your closet, pick them up, and not worry about that. So you can do your actual pre-date ritual and figuring out the things that really elevate your energy. And then when you show up to the date, how do you really connect? How do you keep yourself from running a script? We don't want to be running scripts on a date. I mean, how many times have you said the same story again and again? We're done with that now. You're stepping into a new paradigm here, and you are getting to a place where you're listening well on dates. You're asking the right kind of questions that get people to really tell a story rather than just regurgitate their resume. I know that sounded really sexy, right? Regurgitate on a date. But you know what I mean. Like, you don't just want to have them tell you all of their accolades and all of the things that they've done and that they have to attract you. You want to really connect with another human. And the best way to do that, honestly, is through practice. Like, here's your homework for that. Go on a couple practice dates where you're not like, this has to be my person. You're just like, what happens if I get curious and I show up and I just see how this unfolds? And I use this as an opportunity to practice my listening skills and to practice connecting. Then our 5th and final of the dating loops is follow through. This is where a lot of us screw it up, frankly. This is where we get into the same cycle with dating apps. I call it the sign-on, sign-off cycle, where you start the year and maybe you took advantage of Dating Sunday and you're like, I got my dating app, I'm ready to go, I'm going to meet my people. And then you got to Quitter's Day, and Quitter's Day is like when everybody drops their New Year's resolutions. A couple weeks in, you were like, oh, I don't see anybody I like. This is feeling like a lot of work, and I'm going to sign in less to the dating app. I'm going to send fewer messages. I'm not going to match with as many people. And then what happens is the algorithm in the dating app gives you back what you're putting out. So you drop lower in the algorithm, you're shown to fewer people, you get fewer matches, and then what do you say? Dating apps don't work. It's a vicious cycle. So we got to fix your follow through on the apps to really stick with it. It takes 45 days to create a new habit. And I really think of using the tool of dating apps as a habit. It's like going to the gym of love. You got to show up, you got to work the tools, you got to do the steps. And that's when things start to change. But the sad thing for me is that so many people sign off their dating app within just a few days or a few weeks. And all the magic and the discovery and the wonderful things that can happen usually occur right after that point. So if you're there in the sign on, sign off cycle, just stick with me for a second, because I really want to give you a plan that's going to get you a different outcome. And if this is what you do every January, then we've got to do something different if we're going to change the outcome. The other element of follow through is just really being able to express your needs clearly and to be able to be a little bit vulnerable with people and open your heart to them. And I know this is tough because we feel like we don't want to look foolish. And if we open up and say, I'm really interested in seeing you, and they're like, I don't know, I'm really on the fence, we take that to mean something about us, when really that tells you more about them. And it also gives you valuable information that they're not their person. Because I promise you, when you meet the right person and you say, I really like you, let's keep this going, can I see you next week? They're going to say, hell yeah. You can see me next week. You can see me the week after that. You won't have to calculate your moves so much in the end, because the next step will be obvious to the both of you. And that's the point where I want to get you to. I want to get you through these dating loops. I want to get you through the follow-through hang-ups that keep people from moving into their dream relationship. And I do all of this through the Dating Accelerator Program. Listening to Dates and Mates is a great set of tools, but you can listen passively without doing something. And the only way to change behaviors and to change outcomes and to change your experience in reality is by actually doing. So if you have been listening to the show and you're like, I've got so much knowledge, just know, first of all, this is just the surface. And I've developed a 10-week program that walks you step by step through all of these dating loops and gives you lots of tools and support and a community who are all going through the same thing and all getting unstuck in love together. So if you're ready to find love in 2023, this is your last chance to register for the Dating Accelerator Program. The Dating Accelerator is only going to be live one time this year, and it's now. So if you're checking your calendar and you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe I won't do this one. Maybe I'll wait for the next one. I'm telling you, there is no next one. This is your moment. I'll also let you know our first live session has already taken place, but it's not too late. As soon as you join, you will get access to the recording of our first session so you can do it at home on your self-study time. And then you can join us live for our next 9 sessions over the next 9 weeks in person. Plus, you'll get access to the online program, the 10 lessons on the 5 dating loops, the program that has changed hundreds of lives over the last few years. And to sweeten the pot, I'm going to give a special deal just for SOP listeners. I'm giving you a $50 discount since the first class is behind us, and I want to make this a clear yes for you. It's either a hell yes or it's a no. I want it to be a hell yes for John's clients, for listeners, and for everyone in the SOP community. Just go to thedatingsecret.com and enter the code SOP50 for $50 off registration. There are payment plans available. There's this hot deal that's available just until the end of this week, and I want to see you in class next week. Again, that's thedatingsecret.com and enter the code SOP50 for $50 off. Couple FAQs I'll just handle before I sign off today. You can sign up and you can see all the transformations I've done previously at thedatingsecret.com. The link will be in the show notes. Also, I wanted you to know if the time zones don't work for you to do the live training, that's okay. We will put all of the classes in your learning platform so you can always catch up and watch them on your time. It only takes about 90 minutes in total for this class each week. And if you just show up and you watch the lessons and you do the homework and you come to classes, I promise you, your life will not be the same as it was at the beginning of the program when you look back 10 weeks later and see where you are. And hopefully you'll be in that relationship or on the road to that relationship. But the key is to just get started first. So please join me at thedatingsecret.com. We have payment plans available, so you can break it up into 3 monthly payments. We, as I said, have recordings, and we have lots of tools to be able to help you. Dating is figure-outable. It's not this magic black box. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I know the exact steps to take to shift your love life. So let's do that together this week. Go to thedatingsecret.com.
I hope that episode was helpful. Hey, listen, if you want to share your singlehood journey, if you've gone somewhere and come back, if you have revelations and wisdom, please share your story. It's going to help other people. Nothing makes us feel more connected than hearing other people's stories. So just send me the audio of your story, and you could just record it directly from your phone and email it to theangrytherapist@gmail.com. Also, if you want our Single on Purpose newsletter, go to singleonpurpose.life. That's singleonpurpose.life. You will get tools and articles and other people's stories, and also Zoom links to private gathers. So if you want to join our community, go to singleonpurpose.life. Thank you for listening. Be well. We hope you tell a friend. Hey, before you go, I want to invite you to the Single on Purpose private community online. It's off of social media, no ads, no algorithms. We got forums, we got live groups, we got webinars, and we have social hangs. We also have offline in-person hangs happening soon. So check us out. Go to singleonpurpose.life. That's singleonpurpose.life, and I will see you inside.